everyone. I know I've been absent for quite a while. I have been building a coven out in Illinois. Now I am a recognized high priestess in 3 states, working on my 4th. So things are going pretty well for us. So we just bought a house. So it's me, my daughter, my husband, and my dog, my familiar, in this house out in Big Rock. And it's been pretty great. So far my coven has 20 members, but I would say only about 10 of them are active and actually learning magic from me and the high priest. So if you're in Illinois and you're looking and you want to stop by for like an open circle or something, just hit us up. We're Tellurian Coven. Sorry, long day. I've been doing yard work all day. So anyways, today I was just going to do a brief video on some Fey magic basics. I have a student who's on the other side of the world, so I'm going to go over something for him too, and it's just what a circle is, how to cast a circle, so all that basic stuff that some of you may know, some of you may not know. So whenever we're doing anything magic related, anytime we're working with energies or casting a spell, it's typical to cast a circle or to designate your sacred space. Some people will sage a circle. They light sage on fire and they burn sage around the room. The more important, I wouldn't say important, the more intricate your spell, the more intricate your circle should be. So if you are doing Iconian magic, you should have a circle that has sacred geometry. I always go with sacred geometry in it. Some people actually will cast a circle within a circle within a circle. And that is also acceptable. It just takes longer and it's more draining than using sacred geometry in your circle, which will get the same effect. So every line, every angle, every shape has a meaning in sacred geometry. So it's not just like the seed of life, and the circle actually means something, the square means something, all these shapes that make up these other shapes mean things, make up the intricate patterns actually mean things. So look into that stuff. That's really cool, and use that in your craft if you want to give your circle, your sacred space, some extra oomph. There are 3 ways to make a circle, roughly. I'm just going to stick to the basics. The first method is to perimeter your circle, a perimeter circle, which is just with crystals or candles or whatever you want. You place outside the area that you're working and you work within that area. The second one, and most preferred by a lot of the witches I teach, is the energy circle. So it's just a circle of energy. They don't define it in any way. They cast it, it's there, and you can feel it, but you can't see it. You have to be really careful when working in a group with these energy circles because other people can't see them, and if you visualize something different, then it kind of all gets messed up. And then the third and my personal favorite way is to actually draw the circle. Some people use salt, like in Luciferian rituals, you're supposed to use salt or ground protection stones to draw the circle. And in my Fey magic, I can use chalk. Chalk is just fine to draw a circle. Some people use dyes from different plants, like different dyes mean different things. I would advise not doing that if you have hardwood or porcelain tile or anything porous or anything that'll get stained. Outside in the grass, fine, do it, but probably not in your house. because you'd ruin the floors. Unless you want a permanent circle that you can't change. Ugh, no thanks. So chalk, I suggest chalk if you're able to use chalk, because it just cleans up so nicely. And when we're in these spaces, whatever our circle is designated to do, it does for us. So say it's a circle of protection. So in Luciferian, I'm going to come back to Luciferian a lot because I do a lot of research on all these different ones. And Luciferian probably has the most different way as opposed to most of the other paths, so you'll hear me reference it a lot. So in Luciferian, you can't enter your own circle of protection. You actually have to disturb the circle. So, like, let's see if I can get this. Say I'm in this and this block is my circle. Another person actually has to put their hand in my circle so I can walk through, so I can enter or leave. Voodoo. So they do that a little differently than most of us. You know, once you create the circle, it's already around you. You just don't leave or exit unless you say the circle is open but never broken. The circle is closed after you leave. But in most other paths, you know, they don't really specify that you can't leave the circle. You're more than capable of it. Just make sure you do it the proper way. Okay, and then when we remove a circle, we'll go back. So, based on whatever your design of circle is, it could be a circle of healing, a circle of power, circle of protection. It's just whatever it's specified to do is what that sacred geometry is going to define it to do, which is also why I like sacred geometry instead of just imagining a circle. Because when you just imagine a circle, it doesn't really give it any definition other than what you're telling it is. And I'm all for being very accurate in my crafting. I don't like any guesswork. It just makes things messy. So I mean, you can just stick with imagining a circle and there's a circle, and it's a sacred circle at that point. But if you want to give it definition, if you want to give it extra oomph, I just go through the basic geometry or color magic, candle magic if you're using perimeter, or crystals, you know, all those different things. How you cast your circle changes its properties, basically, is what I'm getting at. Anyways, when we're in our circle, it does whatever it's defined to do for us. So say I cast a circle of protection, I'm protected inside that circle. But I can bring it one step further. I can, when I cast that circle, say protect me and everyone herein, or all energies herein. And then nothing inside my circle is disturbed, not just me. That's like, even the air isn't disturbed, which is nice. So that it just gives us a very safe place to work. And that's the first one of these I'm going to put out, and then I'll be following up with the next one in just a little bit.